name's Rob. In this video, I'm going to be talking about something that I've never covered before, which is a desktop amplifier. A brand new product from Caline called the Lorcan. But before I do, I'd ask you to like and subscribe and hit the notifications bell so that you can be notified every time we put out a new video. So, the Lorcan, here it is. This is a very strange product compared to anything I've ever done before. Disclaimer, I suppose. Caline reached out to me about 2 weeks ago, which is incredibly fast for this to get here from China. About 2 weeks ago, and asked me would I review their new desktop amplifier, which obviously I was happy to do. So I'm not being paid to make this video, but I do get this product and I get to keep it. So what is it? Well, it's really unusual. Okay, first of all, it's bright orange. Second of all, it's called the Lorcan, which I'm pretty certain, I should have researched this beforehand, but I'm pretty certain is a indigenous Irish name to this country, which is weird that I should get a product called the Lorcan. And what it is basically a box that sits on top of your desk or actually on your pedalboard. And it has two speakers up here, and I don't know what power the amp is, but it has an onboard amplifier. And it's battery powered, but you can also charge it and it'll run. As you can see, you can turn it on here. You charge it up and you run it for about 3 hours. The onboard, there is a preamplifier, which just amplifies your guitar through these two little speakers. And then separately, there's also a delay pedal and a distortion pedal. So, and then the other things that are interesting about it is you can also take a jack out of here and put it into an amplifier, and it basically, these speakers get bypassed and it becomes a distortion pedal and a delay pedal and a master volume. And then on the other side, there's a guitar input, and there's also three outputs, 300 milliamp 9-volt outputs to run three other pedals. So you could put this on your board, charge it up, put it with three other pedals, and when you're practicing, you could have a 5-pedal pedalboard with an onboard amplifier with these two little speakers. And you could use it for practicing. And then when you go to a gig, you just plug it out of here and you get 5 pedals. Now, and then on the side, there's an aux input to plug in something to play music for you to jam along with, and the music will come out of here. And then also there's a headphone output. Two things that this does not have, which is one, there's no way to use the onboard amplifier inside to power a cab. The onboard amplifier can only power these little speakers, and the output, as I mentioned, bypasses the amplifier and the speakers and just takes the signal and takes it out. It does still leave this master volume in play. So that's about it, really. It's an interesting thing. Thanks very much to Caline for sending it out to me. It's a really unusual product. Also, the great thing about this is, if you're, for example, I go on staycations in Ireland, or at least I did a lot during the pandemic with my family, and I wanted to bring something with me to kind of just jam away by myself to. This would be a great little thing, because it has a clean sound, a distortion sound, and a delay sound, and you'll see in the audio demo in a sec, you can get a lot of usable sounds out of it. Now, the speakers are tiny, right? You're not meant to, mic this up and use it to record with. It's a practicing device. Or, actually, it could be really good as a little portable amplifier. So, say you were you were accompanying an acoustic guitar player in church for a wedding, or maybe you wanted something to busk with an electric guitar. I think it'd be loud enough to do that. It is actually quite loud. Oh, by the way, there's a readout here that says it's 150 or 0% power. I thought at first that was a power scaling thing. It's actually just the amount of remaining battery that you have. So I think you could use it for busking. I think you could use it for practicing. I think you could use it for a number of different things. And I think you could just stick it onto your desktop, leave it there all the time, and just use it as a little practice amp. And it would be a great little portable practice amp. And it's super light. It's not heavy at all. It's big. It's going to take up a massive amount of space on anybody's pedalboard. But having said that, you could actually throw this in a gig bag as well as a pedalboard and just stick it on the end of a pedalboard either. So thanks very much for Caline sending it out. This isn't on the market yet, to the best of my knowledge. So it's the first time I've ever had a pre-release demo of something. So thanks for Caline for considering me in that respect. And let's take a listen to it. Here you go. Okay, so in order to, I suppose, this is hard to explain, but in order to kind of give this thing the best chance of being able to judge the sound of how it sounds right through, inevitably you'll be watching on an iPhone or maybe studio monitors, I have a mic positioned here above the unit, and it's just a condenser mic sort of in the room pointing towards the unit, and I have the other mic in the room here. So you've got like these two ambient mics, because there's no point in me putting a 57 on top of the speaker, because you'll never use it like that. You'll use it ambiently in the room. I also have this Mosky Deluxe preamp plugged into the front end, and it's being powered by one of the jacks out, so I can use this as an overdrive and boost pedal. And then obviously I'm going to demo the distortion and delay, and I have the volume. I'll roll the volume back to a quarter now, right? So the other thing is I'm going to use a Strat, right? And the reason I'm using a Strat is because everybody knows what a Strat sounds like, and also there's a lot of different sounds in a Strat, so you'll be able to hear the particular EQ that comes off this unit as a sort of a practice tool, okay? So starting with the neck pickup. Needs a bit more volume. Halfway. Now, what I'd say about that at half volume right now is that that's loud enough to jam to. But it's not going to bother anyone. I mean, and then I can bring it to 3/4 volume. Probably not loud enough to bother anyone, and full volume. Yeah, that's getting loud now. I reckon you could busk with that at full volume on the street. I'm going to put it like just past half. Okay, so that's the neck pickup of a Strat. Middle setting, or out of phase between the neck and the middle. You can hear like it sounds like a Strat still. Middle setting. And the out of phase is the back setting. The humbucker at the back. Like, it's not a massively pleasing sound, right? But what I will say is, you could definitely like bring this with you if you're going away on a holiday or something, and if you wanted to like play electric guitar with an acoustic guitar player at a party or something, or use it for busking, it's perfectly acceptable. An interesting thing actually, a violinist friend of mine is looking for a small portable amp to use in churches. This might be a good idea for her actually. Okay, so then let's get into the effects, right? So, by the way, these power lights that you can see here, as I may have mentioned earlier on, they are simply to do with the amount of remaining power in the unit. They've got nothing to do with like an output level or anything like that. It's just how much power is left in the battery charge. So getting into distortion, first of all, here is the distortion sound. Pretty good actually. It's kind of like a rat. I'm not expecting this to work, but I'm going to roll off the volume and see what happens. It does work. Okay, and then delay. work well with a low mix as a lead delay. Just for sitting down here with a battery powered kind of unit, that's actually quite pleasing to play to, you know that? Okay, so if I then wanted to say boost that distortion, certainly you can play. Right? So turn off the distortion for a second. Use the overdrive into the pedals. Interesting here. It has enough headroom. So if I show you humbucker in the back. Enough headroom in the speakers to get louder. Yeah, so the overdrive works. Turn off the delay for a second. Oh, wrong button. Turn off the delay. Yeah, and then the boost, just to see again about the headroom. And without the boost. So it has enough headroom to put a boost in front of it and use that boost for like a louder thing, which means you can use it for both loud, you can use it for both like loud soloing, clean and loud soloing dirty. So if I put on the distortion, indeed, no overdrive. It doesn't really allow the distortion to get louder, it just saturates it more. Just written the Rage Against the Machine song. Yeah, so there you go. I think I've kind of showing everything you can do. I mean, I'll just quickly show what the tone controls and the distortion do. So you have muffled distortion, treble distortion, and you have that's fair enough. And the delay is an analog sounding delay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to plug it into another amplifier. And I spoke about this earlier as well. That it seems like a real oversight to me to design this to be put on the end of a pedalboard, for example, right? So that's the only reason I can see that you would have the ability to power other pedals off it. And to not have a speaker output that you could go to a gig, even a cafe gig or something, and just use the onboard amplifier to power a small cabinet of some sort would be an interesting thing to do. But I'm going to plug it into an amp and just show you how the distortion and delay, which is all basically when you plug it into an amp, it becomes a master volume and it becomes a distortion and a delay. And I'm going to do that now and just show you. Okay, so as I mentioned now, you can see here there's a lead running out of the side of the Lorcan, and that's going into the Hotone Nano Legacy British Invasion, like 1 watt AC30 style head. And with everything off on the Lorcan, it sounds like this. And then I can make the Lorcan completely silent. So because it is a preamp, I can drive the amp. Okay, the distortion. By the way, this is running direct from the British Invasion into my interface, so there's no cab in the room. But it just shows it does work as a distortion pedal and as a delay pedal. I can put an overdrive there. Still use Lorcan to completely turn it down or up. There you go. Basically it becomes a distortion pedal and a delay pedal. Interesting thing about this, when you plug this in, it defeats the speakers. The speakers and the output don't work at the same time. Yeah, so that's about it. Kind of does what it says in the tin. It's a desktop amplifier. So, there you go. The Caline Lorcan, I would call it a desktop amplifier. I don't know what the power is, like I said, but you heard in the demo, it gets loud enough to accompany an acoustic guitar player or a busk with. It's an interesting thing. Not something that I would necessarily have a use for myself, but I think if you didn't have a home studio setup and you wanted something quiet to practice with, it could be really, really good. And I think the delay and distortion on it are really clever as a kind of a practicing tool. And it's not digital either, you know, it's analog, which is always great in my opinion. And the headphones and aux in are great, and the three pedal powering jacks are great. So yeah, fair play Caline. Really interesting and kind of different piece of kit. Maybe best suited for beginners or like I said, people who need to be mobile. But, you know, a well thought out, well designed, robust feeling piece of kit. So there you go. Thanks very much Caline for sending this out to me. I enjoyed playing it immensely. And if you liked the video, drop me a comment. Let me know what you think of the amp. And like and subscribe. And I thank you for watching if you've gotten this far. And I will see you in another video again soon. Take it easy.